What if Claude Code tries to run rm-rf on your machine and nothing stops it from doing it? Or what if your AI agent commits secrets or API keys to your repo? This could end up with a disaster. But there is a tool that can help you to prevent that. And this tool is Hooks. And I'm talking not about React hooks, I'm talking about Claude or agent hooks. And in this video I'm going to show you what hooks are, how they work, and we'll give you few hooks that you can drop into your setup today. In my opinion, hooks is the most underrated feature of Claude Code. It makes your AI agent more predictable and deterministic, and almost nobody uses it. First, let's understand how Claude Code actually works under the hood. It thinks, it acts, reads the files, runs commands, and then it repeats. And hooks intercept this loop before a file gets written or after a command runs. And hooks let you run your own code at any of these points. Think about hooks like about middleware, but for your AI agent. And the data flow is very simple. Claude fires an event, your hook receives a JSON payload, then you can do whatever you want with this payload and return a decision. Block it, allow it, modify it, or send a Slack message, whatever you prefer. You can find the full list of Claude hooks in the official documentation, and believe me, there are plenty. And now let me run through the most important of them, the ones that you most probably are going to use. First, session start and session end. This is obvious when session begins and terminates. Then user prompt submit. This is happening before Claude even reads your message. Pre-tool use. This hook fires before any tool runs, and this is a very important one. And another one, post-tool use. This happens after tool succeeds. Post-tool use failure, after tool fails. Permission request, when Claude asks you for permission to do something. Sub-agent start, sub-agent stop. For multi-agent workflows, stop when Claude finishes the response. Pre-compact, this is before the context gets compressed. And the last one is notification. This fires when Claude sends an alert. And before we build anything, you need to know where hooks live. There are 3 config files where you can add your hooks. First, in your root folder in .claude directory, in the file settings.json. These are global hooks that apply everywhere. Another one on your project level in .claude/settings.json. And the third place is for local overrides in your project.claude settings.local.json. And the structure of hook config looks like this. The matcher tells Claude which command to intercept. Here it catches bash commands. If you replace it with edits pipe writes, then it will catch all the file edits, and asterisk means to catch every command. And you need to remember one important thing. Hooks run synchronously. It means Claude will wait for them. So keep them fast. Use Node.js for anything on pre-tool use. It starts in 15 milliseconds versus Python's 200 milliseconds at least. And the latency adds up when hooks fire on every command tool. Now let's see which hooks we could add. And the first hook I want to talk about is not a safety hook. It is a learning hook. We are going to build an event logger hook that will capture every agent event and log it into the file. Because before you build anything, you need to understand which data is available and what's the shape of this data, rather than just guessing. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to write it myself. I will just ask Claude to add it. And then once it's done, you can just use your Claude Code normally and then run this command to see the logs, so you can see what exactly flows through each event. Tool names, file paths, command inputs, and that's how you can figure out what is possible for you to do. And the next hook we're adding will block dangerous commands. For example, removing files or calling suspicious URLs and force pushing to master. And again, I'm just going to go to my Claude Code and ask it to build this hook. So what I'm going to ask, and you can see that Claude uses a skill update config, a specific skill that helps us to write all these hooks, rules, agents or whatever skills, and it added it, it verifies it, and now I'm going to add a file to this to delete directory, and I'm going to ask Claude. I also will clear the session so it does not remember that we added this hook, and I'll ask it delete all files in to delete folder. And you can see an error, and it tells us that remove comments are blocked by the hook, and it suggests an alternative to use Python to delete these files, but at least you are not going to erase your project accidentally. So we are saying no, and let's move on to the next hook. And the next hook we are going to add is going to protect our secrets. All the API keys, AWS tokens, or anything that you don't want anyone else to know. So how do we do that? Again, we are going to our Claude for the sake of the speed, and I will ask it to create a hook. And I pasted the type of files I don't want it to touch. Again, the same process, it will call this skill to create a hook, and it tells us that it added a hook, and we can actually see all the hooks we have using /hooks command. And you can see this hook that is matching all the read, write, edit, and bash matchers. What is it actually? It is just a bash command, and actually we can ask it to use it differently, to write it differently. If you don't want it to be a bash command, you can change it to a Node.js file or Python file. Probably Node.js would be the best, but bash will work as well. So now let's create a .env file, and I'll say my API token equals something, and then I will clear the session and I'll tell, can you read my .env file and tell what is my API token. And we are going to see how it blocks this, and you can see it here. It's blocked because this is a secret file, and Claude tell us that it cannot just read it, so we can read it ourselves by running this command. And what else you can do? Well, basically anything. For example, if you're running Claude in the background and doing something else while Claude is figuring out your task, you can also write a hook. So Claude sends you a message every time it needs you to approve something or just answer the question, instead of just, running it and forgetting about it and coming back after 1 hour. That's how it happens with me usually when I'm multitasking. So you can add a hook that will send you a notification to a messenger of your choice. And what else? You can build a hook for branch protection that will restrict pushing to branches like main and master, or maybe even some other branches that you don't want people to directly push to. You can create an auto checkpoint hook, for example, a hook that will commit your changes before doing anything risky. You can create a hook that will enforce your test-driven development and block agent from writing any code before it actually writes tests for this code first. And there are many other use cases you can come up with. Depends on your imagination and your code base. And just few things to remember before you dive into writing hooks. Keep them fast. under 100 milliseconds. Because latency adds up across the session when you add more and more hooks. Log everything before writing hooks. No need to guess, just see what's going on there and which data is available. Remember that matchers are case sensitive and we need ones with a capital letter. And also remember that the exit code of your hook matters. 0 means success, 2 means blocked, and anything else will be a warning. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching my video. Let me know if it was useful for you and share in the comments below the video if you are already using hooks, and if so, which ones are your favorite. And if my video was useful for you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for my channel for more AI coding life hacks.